Good evening, Gabby.
Good evening, TC, and
What a night to be doing podcast, Liverpool and Real Madrid.
and welcome all to our weekly
Now you're worse than a woman, you.
podcast.
Picking me like this.
Do you want to do it tomorrow?
No. Put it in now, let's get it done.
Are you watching a TV screen?
I'm in bedroom. Jock's watching it, so listen, it don't make a difference to me.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you're happy to crack on, I'm happy to. I've got the Villa game on with no sound, so I'm watching that, and then I'll watch the second half when we finished the podcast. But let's just start on the Champions League before we get
Just
into
one
the
second. Are
magic
you
moments.
happy to do it tonight?
Yeah,
Because
I
I
am.
so it don't make a difference to
Yeah,
me.
no, 100%. I'm
Right.
sitting here watching the Villa game, so it's
Right,
not
so
a
go on
problem.
then.
I didn't know what game to watch: Liverpool versus Madrid or Villa versus
I just said to
Juventus.
Jock, is Liverpool playing Real Madrid?
Yeah, two great games tonight and And do you like this new format, T?
No, I told you that before.
Yeah,
You do.
yeah. I know that they call it the Champions League, but we will call it by its rightful name, the European Super League, because it is a Super League of, 36 teams, 8 that qualify, then 16 that go into playoffs, and 8 that drop off. And if that my maths is right, it is 36. But I do like it because it's different fixtures. It's not home and away in a group format. It is like a league, and I think that going forward, it will morph into the Super League. This is just the next phase.
Well, Gabby, you look, still they're wanting the Super League.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Right. So do you think they're going to have 36 teams in the Super League?
No, they'll have
Right.
two. They'll
I
have
don't know
two
what you
like the
thought about
Americans.
it. I don't know what you thought about it. They may have 18.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll do, and I think that's the format they've got 36, and then they will split it. Eventually, they'll split it, and they'll follow the what was the NASL. Now it's the Major League Soccer that they have in America. They have a Western Conference and an Eastern Conference, and I think they'll do it
Yeah,
that way.
but Gabby, those 36 clubs, what's in it?
No, I agree with what you're saying.
20 of them.
Yeah,
You can say a good 18 of them are not good enough to be in it.
No, 100%. Yeah.
So splitting it in and doing it like the American thing, that won't work neither.
Maybe they'll do it then, T. The
You
top
look
18.
you look at the scenario. Look at what these non-league clubs are doing in Vauxhall Conference, whatever, that National League, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They're putting on functions. What is it when I say function? Let's reset it. Corporate.
Yeah.
£40. For a meal.
Yeah.
And a seat in stand. Even they're doing it.
Yeah.
They don't want the fans in it.
No,
I'm telling you, they do not. No, when I say don't want the fans in it, they don't want the fans in it like we've always known football to be.
Another one that they want the more affluent fan so they can get more money out of them. I mean, if you're doing the same at a Premier League ground with a little bit of food, I'm guessing you'd be paying about £300 upwards. I mean,
more, yeah.
Yeah, what kind of working class person can afford to pay that on a regular basis? Like,
you tell me what working class person can afford to go to a game on a Saturday and
I have
Tuesday.
no idea. I have
in
no
London.
idea. I know, T. I have no idea. I mean, Tom and Kieran have gone tonight, so they'll be sitting on the alt end watching the Villa against Juventus. But, the price, I think that the price they'd have to pay is about £90. I mean, I just think it's scandalous. I think it's quite ridiculous. But, these are the prices they charge, and the evidence is there. It's a packed Villa Park, so the fans are prepared to pay it for this Champions League game. Now, whether we're going forward and Villa keep getting into the Super League, whether they'll keep paying those kind of prices, or whether financially Villa will play catch up with some of the big hitters, and as a consequence, then won't have to charge the fans so much because of all this PSR or whatever it is that they have to make sure that they're just below that line or they get fined and dock points, etc. Who knows what's going to go on in football? Football is a mad industry, but it is the Champions League.
When you analyse that, all that's done is to protect
100%.
The elite ones
100%.
in that league.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, so that gives them the power to buy the best players as usual.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing's ever changed.
People have got to stop being brainwashed.
Yeah, they have.
Got brainwashed by COVID. They're getting brainwashed by football.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't like. I hate saying it. right? Because I'm not intelligent enough to come up with a better word than that. But that's what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. But going back to your earlier statement there, I think you're probably right. They may well do a Super League, Premier League, and then a Championship. So have two leagues of the top 18 teams, and then have a promotion and a relegation, and then have all these different feeder like the Europa League and the Conference League that they do.
I don't think they will have a promotion of relegation. I think it will be like you just said.
Maybe
the American setup where there's 12 teams in it or 14 teams in it, or in this case scenario, because there's about 18 Super League teams in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when I say that, there is. But the two main teams, or one of the main teams really is Real Madrid. They've won it 13, 14 times.
14, yeah, absolutely. And this is it, no matter what other teams you have, you're always going to have the top, the elite teams.
That's always protecting them, Gabs.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean,
you said Spain. To me about 3 or 4 weeks ago about, we have to go and do what Real Madrid. No, Real Madrid's not getting the money what we get.
No, they're not.
From the TV rights. No. So they get it other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. They get it from the King of Spain.
So they're going to go out there to and get more. We can't. They're just going. When that Super League starts, they will get the most money.
They will do, yeah. Yeah, the rich always find a way of getting richer on the back of the poorer teams, leagues, etc., etc. And I don't think anything's going to change soon.
People may think I criticise that. No, I don't, because I want them to be successful.
Yeah,
I'm telling them the truth, what they are doing wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not keeping them on and saying they haven't got a chance because so and so. You've got to go and you've got to get balance right where you're not conceding goals.
Yeah.
But you're still taking that team to attack, the better teams.
Yes.
And get people off the seats and get people coming in.
I mean, in reality, Madrid and Barcelona can only field 11 players. I know they've got another team and a bench that's phenomenally good and strong. But, if teams are going to play at that level, they're going to need these players, and the other players will go to the other teams, and it will be competitive. I mean, you look at the Villa team tonight. I mean, it's very competitive.
Regardless what you say to me,
Liverpool is as well.
Regardless of what you say to me, it will never be competitive. Ever.
I think it will be competitive, but I think you'll still have the same teams at the top.
Well, so is it competitive? The only competitive is the major 4 teams will win that tournament, whatever it is.
But again, that's what happens in all the leagues across the planet,
don't it?
I know, you're right, because it will just...
It'll only be the same as. You're saying it's competitive is when everybody, or more than a few, have got enough opportunity or a chance of winning that league.
I mean, you look at our Premier League this season, it appears at the moment more competitive. However, when you're looking at who's going to win it, we're going Man City, Arsenal, or Liverpool. Really, there's only 3. Maybe Chelsea, if the others, the above, have poor seasons.
It's still not possible. Impossible. It's still not impossible for any one of the other 2 teams, Arsenal, Manchester City, to win that league, because other teams have been 12 points clear and lost. Man United have Newcastle.
Absolutely.
They didn't have the strength
in
depth as others, but these other teams done that.
Yeah.
Right? You look at Manchester City, and I've always screamed, I mean, I've not been as much writing about football as I have done for the last 2 years. But I look at Manchester City and they've gone and done this and that. I'll tell you what they have done. Yep. They've let a load of great players age together, like Leeds United did.
100%.
That's what they've done.
Yeah, 100%.
De Bruyne has got out. Because what anybody said to me, football brain's still there. Walker's pace is still quick, but it's not lightning quick like he had.
They're not at their peak,
too many of them now have got to. And then they've had injuries on top of that. Now, the plus side, when they get injuries, when Manchester City get injuries, they should be able to cope with it.
Yes.
But they've let the team age.
Yeah.
That's something Guardiola's never done.
It's very similar to what happened at Manchester United when they won the European Cup. That team aged, and within six 6 years, they got relegated. And very similar to Leeds United with Don Reeves'
Yeah.
side, they all aged, and it is difficult, I guess, where
They
you've
all
got
aged
such,
together,
yeah,
really, didn't they?
exactly, yeah, where you've got such a successful team. At what stage do you start to blood some new and younger players? The only team, well, I suppose you could argue Sir Alex did at Manchester United, and
They all do it.
certainly
They all do it,
Paisley
Gav.
did, at Liverpool, kept bringing in a couple of younger players,
Yeah, but
so they kept changing the
what they all
personnel.
do, what they all do. I mean, McGovern, what Clough's favourite.
Yeah,
When I say favourite, he absolutely. I never got a bollock him, but he always took him with him, McGovern.
yeah,
Right? But he used to say to him, "Young man, you
mm,
can't play football. I brought you here to get the ball and give it to Robertson or O'Neill."
mm,
And John knew that's all he wanted him to do.
the cog.
Now,
Mm,
these other teams, what we were just talking about then, the Liverpools and the Man Uniteds and the
yeah,
Arsenals and all the rest of them, Man United, and Leeds United, all let the players age too
yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
Too many of them together
mm,
and didn't replace them. Where Liverpool, like you said, always bought two,
yeah, yep,
right? And
mm,
then even that caught up with them because they let that get beyond where two weren't enough,
yeah,
right? So Manchester City are now feeling two pinchers, injuries
mm,
and aging players.
yep,
Not that Guardiola's gone. Now, he's just signed a new contract.
mm,
Why did he sign that and not let this happen?
yep,
I don't know.
mm,
I got a strong rumor, and when I say I got a strong rumor, I still speak to influential people in the
mm,
game. Make
yeah,
no mistake on that.
mm,
And they were not convinced, but they were saying the England job was for Guardiola to take it if he wanted it.
yep,
May have changed his mind. I don't know.
mm.
I don't know. But does he stay there and clear his head and say, right, I'm staying in England and I'm going to do this and get rid of players? But has that financial thing been cleared up yet with Manchester City?
It looks as though it's going to be all sorted by Christmas, but we won't know what's gone on till March. My guess is there's not going to be an awful lot of difference. I think that they may be found guilty of certain things, but I can't see anything radical happening at City. And whether Pep has got wind of everything's going to be okay, we're not going to be relegated. We might have a couple of points deducted.
That's a good point. That's a great point, that, Gabby.
So he signed on, got a 2-year contract. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows? Pep's a serial winner. He ain't going to want to go out there being unsuccessful in his final couple of seasons there
Well,
at
he knows
City.
he knows the outbuying quality. Regardless what people say,
Mm.
is a checkbook, man. It's a load of rubbish. Man
It is,
United
yeah.
have spent a lot more money than
Oh,
what
100%.
Manchester City.
100%.
They spent $1 billion. They spent $1.5 billion.
Yeah, absolutely, T. So it's a kind of watch this space, but I can see an away win for Manchester City at Anfield this weekend, and Pep will go on. Pep will probably go on microphone on camera, dressed up like all bandages round his head,
Well, he's
playing
not
the
that type
game.
of manager, as you know.
No, I know, but I
But
mean
he's capable of turning it round. I mean, when you
absolutely.
look at it again, I've only seen the goals of it last night.
Mm,
I've only seen the highlights today.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was watching it.
I mean, the mistakes. You don't see.
No, incredible. Defensive mistakes and blunders.
You might see him make
Unbelievable.
mistakes when they're not winning, but
Yeah.
to see
3-0
when
up.
winning 3-0 to make a mistake like they did.
I was watching Brummagem and 17 minutes to go. The game wasn't very good at Exeter. The atmosphere, everything. You're watching a game like that, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to turn over and see how City are getting on. Oh, blimey, they're
Listen,
winning 3-0. I thought, game over.
I had two five bets. I mean, I've not been betting this season among it all. I used to put 25 quid on
Yeah.
and have a £5 half and £20 5 teams.
Mm.
Anyway, I thought, go on. I had a 7-time at half time and a 5-time at half time,
Yeah.
and Burnley let me down on both bets. Scored 90 seconds straight after half time. But that just not. It happens to everybody you speak to. Said, "What teams let me down?"
Exactly, yeah.
Whoever it is you
Yeah.
speak to.
It's when you roll that many up, there's often just one that lets you down, and then to score like 9 seconds into the second half, and they let you down, with the first half
thinking,
score.
well, Lampard's
Bloody
coming
marvellous.
in. They'll go there, try and make sure not to lose. And I was thinking about the draw. Anyway, I mean, I know they finished up winning, but I'm just talking about the half-time result.
Absolutely. It's just sod's law, ain't it, TC? Magic moments before we get into the podcast, T. What have you
What's his
sourced for
name?
us?
The kid at Port Vale?
Yeah, I didn't.
Shuruk.
I didn't see that game against Crewe.
Unbelievable goal, Gabby.
Was it? I'll have to have a look at that.
Unbelievable goal.
I didn't see that.
I'll pronounce his name now right for you.
Yeah, Big Dave's done a great job there at Port Vale. I think
Shuruk.
Oh, okay. I think it's probably his level, if I'm honest.
Gabby.
I'll have a look at that.
Looking at it, body shape right, connected right, knee over the ball, boom, not going to save it. Fantastic. Whatever you see that type of goal, whether it's a Premier League, Champions League, World Cup, European Championship, worthy of that type of goal.
Wow. I'll have a look at that and put it on to our group. Want to give a shout out to 2 players and the goals at Craven Cottage. Fulham did go 1-up. Iwobi scored a great goal, and I don't know how Jimenez hit the bar from close range there. But Wolves then come into it, and Matthias Cunha, I've been a fan of him for a number of seasons. I watched him when he played for Werder Bremen when it was in COVID times, and it was all lockdown, and the games were on, but we couldn't watch it. But we were watching all the different leagues throughout the world on our TV sets. And Cunha scored some magnificent goals and done some great things. When he come to Wolves, I thought, blimey, he's going to be a good signing. Didn't quite happen for him immediately, but now he's really getting into the flow. And his goals for Wolves against Fulham were quite phenomenal.
Fantastic.
And
but let me look.
Yeah, go on.
The thing is with Wolves, the more I see of this Gary O'Neill,
Yep,
the more I'm convinced what a great manager he is.
Yep, I like him.
And my thing of great managers is winning things. But he got sacked at Bournemouth.
Yep.
And he kept him up when nobody else thought he would have kept him up. Yeah, they replaced him, and Bournemouth are doing brilliantly.
Yeah, I like Areola.
But he's got to Wolves. They play some brilliant football to watch.
I like
I've
Wolves.
watched it a few times now, Wolves, and they've been fantastic. And then they sold the better players.
Yep.
For what reason, I don't know. Whether they needed the money or whether they needed to balance it because of this financial regulation, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they've had a bad start to the season, but they've had to play the top teams.
Exactly. Yep.
And then they were saying that they've got this run of games now. Well, and they've had the last 2 games where they won both points.
And also
both games, as you say.
Let's just say that when Wolves have lost games against the big teams,
they played well. They have
played very well. The only game I was critical.
Wolves beat them 6-1, was it?
What's that?
Up to them going up to about 2-1. Wolves are playing really well.
Yeah. The only game I was critical was, I think, was it the Manchester City game when they just put players behind the ball, and they've got better players than that. So I was a bit critical of Wolves that day. And
you know as well as I do, Gabby, they're all frightened of Manchester City. They gave him hammered 6.
Absolutely fine.
Did that do him any favours? We gave beat by Chelsea 6.
No,
maybe not.
Exactly.
But
yeah, that was the only game that got tanked.
City are not playing well. They've got injuries. Team's aging. Yeah. Now's the time to go and attack them.
Absolutely, 100%. But I always think that the best form of your defence is going and attacking. Exactly, yeah.
If you've got the ball, they can't score.
Absolutely.
That was said when we were playing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never understood.
Make no mistake, that was said when I was playing. And managers used to say, if we've got the ball, they cannot. How can they score?
It's impossible. I mean, I say it's impossible. I watched Villa against Liverpool. Villa had 2 corners and Liverpool scored. But ultimately, if you have got the ball, they ain't going to score. But another player I just wanted to give a mention to is Joe Gomez. Wears a number 8 for Wolverhampton Wanderers. laid on Kuhn second goal, very instrumental in the game, and very instrumental whenever I've watched Wolves play. I like this kid. If I was Pep Guardiola, I'd go and buy him for Manchester City. I think Joe Gomez is absolute top draw. And I love Morgan Gibbs-White, another Man City Pep Guardiola midfield player. In fact, if I was Pep, I'd buy both of them and put them into my Man City midfield. And Rory Delap's son, Liam Delap, what a forward he is. I would have him in the England squad now. I think the kid has got everything.
Well, you look. I watched him on Saturday against
United.
Was it Saturday? Sunday?
Sunday, wasn't it? Super Sunday, yeah.
He's got a tremendous amount of ability, but what else he's got is a tremendous amount of work rate.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I really like him.
He's not inferior of big name players.
He's like a throwback to like Roy of the Rovers kind of player.
You look at him, you think he looks strong, he looks big,
yeah.
But he's technically, because I look as this: can he find space?
Yep.
Whatever position,
yeah.
Whether you're full back, centre half, even a goalkeeper receiving the ball back to him. To make it easy for the bloke playing the ball back, playing it back to him. Now look, can that player find space? What's his touch like?
Yeah.
What's his composure like on the ball? Right, and what's his work ethic like? You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
And then that'll give me a good balance of can I as a manager balance that team up? What's going to get the best out of these? And that's all you can ask for. And we have got players in this country, Gavin.
100%.
We've got them.
100%. Like I said, I would have him in my England. My fault, not the under 21s, because I think he does play at 21 level, don't he? But I'd have him in the full England side. I think he's that good. Whenever I've watched him play, don't matter left foot, right foot, header, as you say, composure, work rate. I just think the kid's got everything. I do think that Gibbs-White is very similar, and I do think that Joe Gomez as well. And you're right too. There are so many fantastic players. Sunderland have got a few. Middlesbrough got a few. The North East is looking pretty good with decent young players as well. And finally, Maddison's brace against Manchester City that started off that shoe-in. So some wonderful magic moments.
You see, I wrote about Tottenham not going to win the league, and they're not.
No, they're not, because they're Tottenham.
But what they have to do at Tottenham, because this manager has got something about him.
Yeah, he has, definitely.
Right? When Tottenham are on song, they look brilliant, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Right? And then you get everybody saying, playing high line. Well, all the best teams play high line.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Regardless what anybody said, the best teams play high line.
Of course they do, yeah.
It took Klopp 3 years to start to win things. Took Ferguson 9 years.
Yeah.
Pep didn't do it in his first year. Right? But he came in and could buy whatever player he wanted.
Yeah.
Where he has put together, he had to sell his best players. Okay. And now he's putting together a team. I think next season there'll be a big force for Tottenham.
Yeah, I like to watch Tottenham play. I like Ange. I like Spurs. I think that on the day they can beat anybody. And then, the other side of Tottenham is that they do play that eye line. And if you get the ball
against West Brom,
exactly.
Brighton.
Yeah, exactly.
But Brighton are not a bad team,
No, Brighton are a very good team.
But you wouldn't expect
you wouldn't
to come back against Tottenham.
No, not at all. But again, you're playing that eye line, you make a couple of mistakes, and bang, the ball's in the back of your net. Completely different complexion.
I mean, look at them.
Football.
Look at them 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Look at Middlesbrough 6 weeks ago, and look at them now.
Yeah, flying. But you
absolutely playing unbelievable football. I still think he'll turn out better than any of them, Lampard and Gerrard, as a manager.
But you've been saying that for about 3 seasons. About Michael Carrick. I mean, and I do everything I like about. I mean, he was a great football player. He looks a great manager. He's composed when he's on the football pitch, and he's composed as a manager. He talks
sense.
He does. Yeah,
He doesn't
he's riveting, isn't he?
Like
No.
You know,
Yeah.
he works hard. He
Yeah.
gets stuck in. You don't hear him talk like that.
No, you don't. He's engaging. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Michael Carrick is engaging, and when you listen to him in his press conferences, you think, well, I could play for him. He could
Yeah.
make me half decent because I'm guessing that the players buy into him and believe what he's saying. And I think that he is going to be a great manager. And I do like watching Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough on the telly now. I'll watch Borough. I'm not going to watch Leicester City with Steve Cooper as the manager anymore. Got the sack. And also, Hull City have got rid of their manager today as well.
Well,
After 17 games.
Are you surprised at Hull City's manager?
No.
Why they sacked him
No.
for? I do not know. What's his name again?
Liam Rosenior.
Why?
Liam
Why did they
Rosenior.
sack him?
Well, apparently the owner wanted a different philosophy and a different way of playing. Well, he's got it, and he's got it sacked.
Yeah. But
It's
what I don't
unbelievable.
agree with
Yeah.
is sacking him. It's like that Steve Cooper. You
Yeah,
can't expect someone to do it within 12 games. It's completely stupid.
Unfortunately, in this stupid
That's
woke world
Yeah.
and the modern football owners and the modern football that we're watching, some managers only get a dozen games and then they're sacked. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous to the extreme.
For me, and I don't like saying this,
No, I know what you're going to say
you
now.
shouldn't get paid. You shouldn't get paid big money for when you've been a failure.
Yeah.
But when you're sacking them, I hope they've got the money's worth out of it, because he didn't go there to be sacked after 12 games, and you cannot judge a manager on 12 games.
No, of course you can't. He's got other players that aren't his players. Again, Arnie Slot's come in, they're not his players, and he's just gone in there, different level of player as well.
Did you see the game?
No.
Well,
Leicester and Chelsea, no, I didn't see it.
I wasn't watching it all, but I was watching parts of it. Vardy gets come up, he gets brought off, and he's 37. He's throwing his arms up in the air.
Exactly, yeah.
Regardless of what anybody said about me, very bad. I got brought off a couple of times. I did, right, but we're winning 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
Right. That never bothered me. Ever.
Yeah.
And Vardy at his age should be there to help these younger players, because it was still getting a very, very, very good wage in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
That's not going to help the manager.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and I know players can get frustrated with manager. I know that.
And I think there was a little bit of that as well. Again, yeah. I get that. But then when they're not your players...
But it sounds as though the players have got him the sack, by the way.
It does, yeah. That's some sack, yeah. And again, when they're your players, it's a different situation, isn't it? So, whoever's going in there is talk that Van Nistelrooy is going in there. He seems to be one of the favourites with the bookies at the moment. And Frank Lampard's looks as though he's going in at Coventry City, as you alluded to earlier. So good luck to Frank. I hope he's successful. I hope Van Nistelrooy. I hope all managers are successful that play decent football. I didn't want to
watch Sheffield Wednesday when they gave Pulis to get their job.
I know, and I didn't watch on the podcast
because I watched Wednesday's game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch him, but I didn't want him to get the sack, because if it's successful, good luck to him.
Yeah.
Once you give that manager the job, give him a chance.
And back him. I mean, Danny Roll, what a great job he's done.
Brilliant.
And again, another 3 points for Wednesday last night. Superb. I mean, they're flying.
I was talking to my mate Mike Gavitas about the game, and before the game, and I said to him, I fancy us to beat these tonight. Really did. And they always looked comfortable last night in Wednesday.
Did you go to Hillsborough last night?
No. Jock plays.
Oh, of course he does, Tuesday, don't
Jock plays.
How did he get on last night? Did he win?
They got beat in cup.
Right, okay.
That was his first game back for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was. Yeah. He's had a bit of a groin. He got sent off, and then he had a bit of a groin or hamstring, whatever it was.
What did he get sent off?
That was his first game back last night.
What was he sent off?
But it was a bit cold and all, so
bit like his dad, bit of dissent, was it, that he got sent off for?
No, what happened was
slapping Tony Kenworthy.
Wait, no. What happened? Jib, I don't know his full name. Clyde, with goalkeeper.
Oh, right.
And it went like Clyde, where the forward goes in and because it can look bad.
It's a 50-50 ball, and you got to go in it.
Anyway, the goalkeeper, Jib's about 5'7", Goalkeeper's about 6'3".
Yeah.
Jock's about six. Well, Jock is 6'3". He jumps on. He jumps in to grab hold of Jib, the goalkeeper. So Jock goes in, and it's like
Yeah.
6 sandbags
Yeah.
throwing at each other, like and he got sent off for it. Silly thing by him, but who am I to say it's wrong, because I got sent off 5 times myself.
Yeah, bloody refs.
But it was something to nothing and silly, so
Oh well, there you go. These things happen. Mo Salah, stay or go? What's going on with Mo? Should Mo go?
Well, I think what he will do, I think he will go. He'll go and play in this Saudi league.
Yeah, he reckons he's more going than staying at the moment. I mean, unusual that is for players to come out and say stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think he would have gone last year.
Yeah.
As a Muslim, he's going to go back to his way of life, right? His family, so and so. He's going to get a lot of money for going out there, as you know.
Yeah.
And you can't blame him. What age is he now?
32, isn't he, Mo?
32.
I think he's 32,
and
33
for me,
maybe.
this is the best time to get rid of Mo Salah. Regardless of what anybody says, 32. You listen to all the great players.
Yeah.
Right? And you watch them. You can still see they've got great awareness and distribution of the ball.
Yeah.
You can see that. The problem is, you see the younger kids flying past them.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost you games and everything else. So he'll go and have a couple of years out there. Yes, it would be a wealthy man, but he's going to go out there and he's going to make that much money that he's not having to worry about anything anymore.
Absolutely.
For his family, a lot of them. Because
Liverpool, it does look as though that his people are talking to Liverpool's people. And by all accounts, it seems as though Liverpool are wanting to offer him a 2-year, and he wants more than 2 years. But again, as a 32, 33-year-old player, you ain't going to give him a 3-year contract, are you? Two is the most you're going to get at that age, isn't it?
You know as well as I do, that's a bit of a kidology to the fans.
It may well be, but it may be the truth
he's
as
gonna
well.
He's going to go to the Saudi Arabia League and finish his career out there. And what you just told me is, I don't want to say it's a lie, but it's just an excuse.
I mean,
we've offered him 2 years. He wants a 3 years.
Yeah, maybe.
And we can't agree, and that's why he's leaving.
And then
he's leaving because he's coming to the end of his career, and it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, and to be fair, if he goes like that, Liverpool are going to come away with the fans saying, "Oh well, we couldn't come to an agreement with Mo." Mo will say, "I couldn't come to agreement with the club," and then both parties split. And no one is the villain of the piece, are they?
Let me put it this way to you, and let me put it this way to the fans. You've seen Mo Salah kick off a little bit when things have not gone his way at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So come next year, and they sign a younger forward, and he does well there, and he gets in and let Mo Salah. You think Mo Salah's going to be sitting on bench and being happy?
No, not at all.
Right.
No.
So what I'm saying to you, I look at it from the realistic side of it.
Exactly.
Not the negative side of it. What's going to suit Liverpool? Because it ain't about Mo Salah.
No, of course it's not. It's about the football club.
Not.
Yeah, no.
It's what suits Liverpool.
Yeah.
We're going to get a right few quid out of it.
Yep.
We can buy a younger version of a superstar. What may come through, may not. But we're going to sign a younger version. What may come through.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, and I think you're probably going to be right, as you usually are, TC. Book corner, we usually give a mention to a few books. I went to watch my grandson play football. He's playing under 8s.
Brilliant.
He loves to do his little lollipops and take players on and crack a few in the back of the net. And so he did have a particularly good game the weekend. He scored a couple of goals, and I'd gone back and seen my mum and dad and went round to see my daughter. They won in, so I went back round to see our Jack. And I was in the kitchen, we were talking, and he said he picked a couple of teams the other day, Jude did, and like all-time players. And he said, He got Maldini in there. He got, like, honestly, some of the people, he got Pelly playing up front. He said, and he got Garincha on the wing. I said, you're joking. He says, no. He said he got Puskás in there.
Well, those players will be on those PlayStation games.
Well, and
but going back to what you were saying
goes
about
on the
watching them play
YouTube.
football,
Yeah.
you know, when you go and watch them play, I remember Jock and
Yeah,
Tom and
it's great,
we were
isn't it?
watching, and there's some players doing step overs. They can't do the falling over, but they still keep trying it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, brilliant to watch them play, the young kids.
Oh, it's great. And again, I love to watch the other team play as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I've tried to tap up 2 players. I've only been there a couple of times. I've tried to tap up a couple of players for him next season.
You horrible man.
But that's I said that's what you got to do, Jack. You know, you got to see
about winning, Gabby.
Of course, it is what players you can get out of teams that are good players. So in book corner, I'm starting to read Garincha's book now, "The Triumph and Tragedy of Brazil's Forgotten Footballing Hero" by Rui Castro. I mean, again, what a player! And Jude was telling me.
I can remember him playing. You know, only I'd be about 8 years of age.
Yeah.
So I remember him, not brilliantly, but I remember him.
Yeah, but Jude was he was good, and he says, like, you know, he won 2 World Cups, and you know he's doing all these step overs and Garincha, and he was telling me all all about this player. They went to a game of football the other week, and there was a picture of George up there on one of the dressing rooms, and he says to his dad, he says, "George Best, that is." He said, "Oh, June," he said, "I watch him play on the YouTube." So he goes on the YouTube channels, and we was watching Johan Cruyff as well. So he's watching all the great players, and Garincha, one of the all-time greats. And he also said, "Dad," he says to his dad, he says, "Dad, he was better than Pele."
And, I mean, I look at Best, he's the best player I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
But then I look, you know, I have to say to myself, Ronaldinho, Maradona, Messi, Ronaldo, Cruyff, Zidane, Platini. You know, I think to myself, it's so difficult to say who is the best player.
Yeah.
But you've all got a favourite player, and it don't make any difference whether it's Pele or whether it's whoever is an ordinary player. It's a second division team or a third division team. That's your favourite player, isn't it?
Yeah, it too makes you feel good when you're watching that player. I've always said that I don't look at stats. I look at how that player makes me feel. And when I'm watching a player and he produces magic, I think, well, I'll go and watch you again. And Garincha produced so much magic. And there are many people in Brazil that did believe that Garincha was better than Pele. But this is a wonderful book.
But when we talk about the Brazil, even the fullback, even the goalkeepers have got talent, haven't they?
Yeah, they were all great footballers. Yeah, I mean, it was like they would literally play on the beaches and play in the streets and in the favelas, and you know they played to the beat of the samba back in those days.
I had never seen when I saw them. I'd never seen a team play with that ferocity of
just
pure football. You know what I mean?
Phenomenal. I mean, that 1970s Brazil team, arguably the greatest team that's ever graced the pitch. In 1978, they wasn't 74. They were quite brutal, to be quite truthful. 78, they were just getting back to, and then in 82 they had a group of kids players that really could have gone on and won the World Cup. And I personally hope that they
just a little bit of luck when you looked at them Zico and all that, all them like Eder and all them lot.
Absolutely, and it was just that game against Italy, that pool game that knocked them out. But again, if they'd have gone on and won the World Cup, we'd have looked at them in different light. But I still look at them in the same light, because out of all the teams, all the players in that World Cup, it was the Brazilians that made me feel the best, and that's what I did like in '74 with the Dutch. But the Brazilians, I think since really the last 20 years maybe, they don't seem to be playing to that same beat. But there you go. There's too many of these players that come to Europe, have European coaches, and they do stifle the skill and take that skill away from them and try and make them play like Europeans.
But I agree with you on that, you know.
But sadly they do. But gladly, we've still got videos, documentaries, books about Garrincha, about Pele, Socrates, Zico, Eder, and all them wonderful players of the past that Brazil gave us. So while we're in the Brazil envelope here, Football, Soccer, The Brazilian Way by Alex Bellis, and Football Nation, A Footballing History of Brazil by David Goldblatt. Two other great books, and both of them I have in my library, and one day I will get round to reading them. But, Brazil, I think when everybody, no matter where you are in the world, where you're from, you always look at Brazil fondly, don't you? Brazil are always your second team. If you're English or you're Scottish, whatever you are, if we get knocked out, you're still watching Brazil, aren't you?
Even to this day, I still like to watch Brazilians. Even when you look at them and think, what have they done to this team, these players?
Yeah, again.
But they're always my second team.
Absolutely, and just keep playing to the samba beat. And they've got some fantastic birds that watch them as well, ain't they? Mind you, some of them Brazilians, some of them birds have got penises.
I'm not saying nothing, Gabby. I'm going woke.
But no, look, you look at them Brazilian birds, don't you think? Jesus, what a carnival that could be. And finally in book corner, Go to War, Football on the Brink in the 1980s, within the 80s, by John Sperling. I'm going to do a podcast with John in the next couple of weeks regarding his book. I did one with his other book of the 70s, Get It On, which we have got a podcast on YouTube, etc., etc. However you access your podcast. And we are watching Villa tonight in Europe. And I've done a wonderful podcast. Not me wonderful, but Dennis Mortimer is wonderful. And Dennis gave me, I don't know, probably 10 hours of his time. We talked about Villa winning the European Cup, Villa winning the league, various things. For instance, when Dennis played in the Copa Pele, which was a tournament many years ago as well after he retired, and also seeing Ronnie Biggs on Sugarloaf Mountain as well. So there's lots of things there with Dennis. He talks about the Youth Cup final. I think it was 1970 when Coventry City played Tottenham, and he played against Graham Souness, and Suey got sent off. So there's lots of things. So just want to give a brief mention about the great Dennis Mortimer. Again, another fantastic midfield player of the past.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like that, what was the word? When you said to me, 2 players or 3 players, Liverpool went to the same school, lived in
absolutely.
European Cup.
Yeah, it was 2, Tomo and Dennis both went to, both from Kirby, both went to the same school, yeah. I mean, you're never
fantastic for the school and fantastic for them too.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to get that again, are you? One school in this country, 2 European Cup winners.
Never, but
no, you can't.
It's difficult, yeah.
But to be fair, the amount of teams that you got in this country, most of them are foreign. I mean, it did make me laugh. When
I think about that now, you're right about that.
You know what I mean? It did make me laugh. They were on about, they had this geezer on TalkSport today, and he was on about the quota. They want, at the England setup, they want 30% of all different ethnicities, etc., and what have you. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. When you look at the Premier League, where's the quota of English players? We ain't got a quota of English players. If you want to have your quotas, it's all garbage and woke crap.
The English are the most race against people in the world.
100%. So it's absolute garbage.
I'm not trying to say it.
No, I don't know why they give these fools airtime, to be quite truthful. If anyone turned around
and said that, they get slaughtered for
Absolutely. It. Yeah, well, unfortunately, they do get slaughtered for it by the woke brigade and these clowns that want to keep the jobs, but nobody pushes back, pretty much, apart from Simon Jordan, pushes back on these narratives that these people want to drive through our society and football. I mean, Joey Barton's at it again, and Joey Barton's absolutely spot on. 3 birds he's gone. One's a lesbian. One's a lesbian.
I know. I saw it.
One's a black lesbian. But again...
But he's entitled to his opinion,
yeah, but he ain't wrong, is he?
No.
I mean, that's the thing with Joey. Okay, Joey does get the sledgehammer to crack a nut, but he ain't wrong. He just says what lots of people think. And if there was 3 heterosexual blokes that were doing these awards at the BBC, the woke brigade would be saying, oh, what's all these straight white blokes doing here? We want some diversity. It's absolute crap. It does my head in, TC. And the woke, I think empty vessels make more noises, my friend once
Yeah,
told me.
you're right there.
And I think they do. And the woke are a load of empty vessels. Enough said about that. Saturday's big game, Sunday's big game, of course, is Liverpool versus Manchester City. Saturday's big game is El Busico, the number 9 derby at Stourbridge. That is going to be a tasty encounter. And I know that proper football are going to have their people out there. They're going to be taking some photographs, etc., and do it right up. So watch that space. And if you're not familiar, guys, with proper football, go onto their page on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Proper
Yeah,
football. They do a
fantastic. Yeah,
podcast, and Terry was on that podcast the other week. He was also on the last round of the FA Cup, wasn't it, T? When oh no, it wasn't. It was the Steel City derby,
Derby.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? And a great little piece. It is on our group. It is on your page as well, and it is again FA Cup round 2 day. Some tasty ties. My team Birmingham are at Blackpool on Sunday, and once more going head to head with Stevie Bruce.
yes. It's. I mean, he set off well, and then he had a bit of some bad news.
Yeah, he did. That was
And
terrible.
then he
That
missed
was.
3 or 4 matches with the
Yeah.
loss. But he's come back and he's got him playing well again, hasn't he?
Yeah, nice guy, like Steve. I mean, I had a little bit to do with him when he was manager of Birmingham. He used to get a few taxis, so we had him in the
You can
taxi.
see he's a lovely man. You can see
Oh,
he's a
he is,
lovely
yeah.
man.
I'd done an interview with Steve as well. He gave me his time. He used to go down to the training ground and he'd come over and he'd always talk to you. Bruce, he was a great man, and good luck to Blackpool and good luck to whatever Steve does. In fact, I was listening to um, a piece on Talk Sport today, and they were saying, should you ever go and manage your rivals team, or as a player, go and play for your rivals club, like what you did Wednesday, of course, went to
Yeah.
play for United. But
Well,
you know,
what I would turn out. You can never say never, but it is definitely difficult.
no, 100%.
And I wouldn't. What I wouldn't do is go and manage the rivals club. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
But Villa have had 2 Birmingham City managers in Steve Bruce and Alex McLeish. And to be fair, I mean, they didn't go down very well. They threw cabbages at Brucey and sacked Alex McLeish. But Ronaldinho.
But I will say this, and I have to be honest with both of them looked bad there, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, to be fair. Yeah. Again, I think it's a philosophy.
They've got a bit that themselves, and it's not nice and it's not easy. But you've got to look at it and think, well, it just. I realised it weren't going to happen at Sheffield United for me. I just realised it.
Yeah, and it is more difficult. I mean, there was a little bit of that going back to Steve Cooper, being a former Forest. And okay, I know it's not necessarily the reason that
Well,
it
how did
didn't
he
go
go on?
well.
Warnock, he played for majority of them teams in Manchester, and then he went back to
Warnock's a bit different, but sometimes I remember Dwight York signing for Birmingham, and I was standing on the tilt, and they were giving him absolutely dog's abuse.
Dwight York. Did he sign for Birmingham?
Dwight York. He played for Blues for a bit in the Premier League. We were playing Blackburn, the
I
corner.
didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, they were hammering him, Yorker, yeah, Villa, and all the rest of it. Ball's come over, Yorker's put his head on the ball, scored the goal. Yorker, you're a legend. I mean, that's how fickle football fans are. But you're right, sometimes if you do go to your rivals, sometimes it doesn't quite happen. Well done, Erling Haaland, quickest to score 50 goals in the Champions League in 44 games, beating Van Nistelrooy 45.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
They play a lot more now than what they did previous.
Oh, 100%.
So
yeah,
when
definitely.
they tell you that, what they should always turn around and say, well, they are playing more games. So it's not the quickest in a sense, is it?
Well, I mean,
it's the new quickest.
It may well be, yeah. Well, again, what they'll do is they'll say Champions League, so the European Cup it don't count. I'd certainly like them to see.
No, but they played more games in the Champions League than they did in the European Cup.
Well, exactly. So if you won the European Cup, say 2 or 3 times,
they've got a table. I mean, it's a bit different this
yeah,
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they have a table where they play with 4 teams.
Yeah.
4 teams in it. There weren't no tables before.
No, I mean,
It was just the winners what went through.
How many games did Forest or Villa play? I mean, I know they play, home and away, but they probably played, 12 maximum?
There was only one team what qualified. The
Yeah,
Champions
absolutely,
League.
yeah.
That's all there were.
Yes.
4 now won't qualify.
So you wasn't in it every season, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And if you're only playing, say, 12 games to win it, well, you ain't really going to play, 45 games, are you?
Choose what they call the Champions League. It will always be classed as the European Cup.
Absolute European Cup.
To turn around and say,
the
quickest player to score 50 goals. It's not telling you the truth. He's telling you the truth for the Champions League.
Absolutely.
But he's not telling you the truth for the European Cup, because that's what they call it. It's the European Cup.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, TC. And Lewandowski scored 100 goals now in the Champions League. So well done. I mean, what a great player he's been, hasn't he? Lewandowski, the Polish lad. I mean, what
unbelievable striker.
One of the great strikers of modern times. And to be fair, I don't think he's got the recognition he deserves.
When Harry Kane scored the quickest 50 goals.
Yeah, he did in the Bundesliga.
I said to Thomas, that must be some record, because Lewandowski.
Yeah.
He holds the records there for scoring goals like I don't know what.
Yeah, and Haaland scored 50 pretty quick in the Bundesliga as well. So Harry Kane, well done to Harry as well. Bellingham's been losing his shit. He reckons he's lost his smile as well for playing for England. He believes he was harshly treated in the Euros. I'll tell you what, again, my thoughts on Bellingham.
By who?
By the press, by the media.
Or, the media have looked at him like I don't know what.
I mean, again, we've said on this post, in my opinion, Bellingham has had better PR than COVID. I can't believe the PR that Bellingham has. I mean, apparently now he's done a documentary on himself. And then, it's like, what did he have on his T-shirt when he scored the goal? It had to be me or something like that.
Right. And I know there was a bit of controversy when he did that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I mean, he got that book out or something before as well. I mean, it's like brand Bellingham. I don't think Bellingham is as popular as the press, the media, whatever you believe.
I think he's popular, but I think the media have made him popular.
Well, they have, yeah, but now he's starting to bite back at the media. The media are going to turn the other way, and he ain't going to be so popular. So watch this space. It's a game of cat and mouse, isn't it? So one thing that Southgate always did was get the media on his side and played that game. But very interesting to see what happens now with Jude Bellingham. Ronaldinho, one of his favourite atmospheres, Fratton Park. I wouldn't have thought he'd have played at Fratton Park very often, would you, Ronaldinho?
Him getting you on.
He must be. I'm like,
I don't think he's ever played there, has he?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, when did Ronaldinho play at Fratton Park? I mean, like, what did he go as a fan or something dressed up? I have no idea.
There's a joke somewhere along it.
But I did see that in the press this week. Ronaldinho is raving about the
but there might be a
atmosphere
different
at Fratton
Park in Brazil.
Where Portsmouth play. And Legends of the Lounge Tea, we've put Steve Derrick Highway in there this week. Did you ever come across Highway? Did he play in that 74 game? He must have.
He came from what they call the place?
Dublin?
No. It's top side of Castle. Fucking hell, what's it called, that place? Turn my head now. You've got me at it now.
Get Jock on Google. It's half time. Get it on Google.
Kippax.
Isn't that Man City's main end?
No, Kippax that used to be the name of the training, the ground, isn't it? Kippax End.
Yeah, main road, yeah.
Kippax. Well, Kippax is it's in between Garforth and Castleford. Because I remember when I finished playing football, a lot of people said to me, "Oh, Steve Highway's from here, Kippax."
He's born in Dublin.
Hey?
Steve Highway's born in Dublin.
Who told you that?
Well, it's on
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, go on. I'm telling you. I'll find out I was right.
Okay. Oh, okay then. 25th of the 11th.
He played for England, by the way, Steve Highway.
I played for Republic of Ireland because he was born in Dublin.
Listen, Mick McCarthy played for Republic of Ireland and born in Barnsley.
Well, again, this is very true, TC.
Don't try and kid me on, Gabby. I keep telling you.
But Stevie Highway definitely played. I think they were called Era, wasn't they, in them days, rather than Republic of Ireland?
Yeah.
And he played 26 times for them. Never actually scored for his country.
I don't think I'm wrong with this because a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people used to say to me, "Steve Highway's from here."
Okay.
Steve Highway, he was coaching the academy team.
Yeah, he did at Liverpool. Yeah, when he finished. Yeah, 100%.
So
100%, he was coaching the academy.
And there were a couple Premier League. When I say Premier League, First Division Premier League. Premier League came in '92. I retired in '86.
Yeah.
So in between that bit, I don't know whether the First Division referees from that area, Kippax, Castleford area, refereed games into Premier League or First Division. But I'm getting old, so I'm losing it a little bit now.
Villa have gone very close a few times in this half. Been a decent game, to be fair. And also, as well, looking forward to. I'm going to watch the highlights. But Arder Guler's playing for Real Madrid tonight at Anfield. I like that kid. I think he's an absolute baller. Great talent. But he scored 76 times in the league for Liverpool, 70 to 1981. In 444 league games, did Steve Highway. And then went to Minnesota, played for the Kicks in the NASL.
He was like lightning, he was.
Oh, grease lightning, wasn't he? I mean, he was a great winger, wasn't he?
Yes,
you can see Highway now, can't you? He's just dropping his shoulder, bang, and he's gone. And he was like a whippet, wasn't he? I mean, he
was like lightning.
He might be a bit like Phil Lynott. I mean, I don't remember Phil Lynott playing football, but Lynott was born actually in Dublin, but then, grew up in Manchester, didn't he? He was big pals with Stan Bowles, because he's from Collyhurst, wasn't he? I think that's where Lynott grew up, although there's always been something about West Bromwich with Phil Lynott, so, I mean, perhaps he was a bit of a traveller, a little bit of a jippo, but I think he was a better singer than Steve Highway, and Steve Highway was a better footballer than Phil Lynott. But then he went to Philadelphia, played indoors for the Fever. That was a decent game, T. But indoor football in America.
Yes, I remember you talking about this.
I remember Alan telling me all about the indoors. It was a proper decent game, that was. He really thought that probably more than, the NASL game was going to take off in America, because, they got the American football, basketball, baseball, what the Americans are like. But the indoor football was slightly different. But yeah, he scored 19 goals in 23 games there. The great Steve Highway, what a player. Don't make wingers like that anymore, do they?
No, they don't. I mean, like I said, he came in after Thompson, because Peter Thompson was a great player for them.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I mean, Alan would have had him in the 1966 World Cup final team, because Uddy was a big fan of Peter Thompson, as he was with George Eastham as well. I mean, Uddy would say to me, the hardest game I'd have is training on a Friday against George Eastham. What a player he was. And it was George Eastham's shirt that Alan Hudson took when he joined Stoke. In fact, one of the Stoke City fans says to Alan Hudson, Stoke City haven't bought Alan Hudson, they bought a young George Eastham. And he says, you know what, you're probably right about that, son. But anyhow, T, that's enough of that. We're on to the football forecast. I did win last week, so it's 6-2.
I'm getting hammered here.
You and I both got the Arsenal and Forest
next
prediction.
year we're not having the teams that I played for.
We can have any team that you want. You can pick 3 or 4, and I'll pick the others. We can pick whatever teams you want, and we'll stay with them. So if you want to have 7 fresh teams, T, for me to hammer you with 7 fresh teams, I'm not bothered. That's fine. But you can go first, sir, this week.
When you're crap, you start to make excuses. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Well, you've smashed me the last few seasons, ain't you? Brighton versus Southampton. Big game on the South Coast Friday night. How do you see this one going?
2-0 Brighton.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 3-1 Brighton. I'm gonna give Southampton a goal. In fact, you know what? I mean, that game could actually suit Southampton because Brighton play the kind of football that Southampton probably are better suited to play against. So who knows? But I'm going 3-1. You're going 2-0. Forest versus Ipswich. I'm going to go. I can see a draw here, a 1-1 draw for me. Forest versus Ipswich. How do you see it?
1-0 Forest.
1-0 to Nottingham Forest. Manchester United versus Everton on the Sunday.
Is it a Man U that?
Yeah, Man United versus Everton at Old Trafford.
I'm going 3-0 Man U.
Yep, 3-0 United. I don't think Everton do very good, do they, against Man United, home or away? So I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United. Derby versus Wednesday. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here. How do you see it, T?
1-0 Wednesday.
1-0 to Wednesday, an away win. Kettering versus Donny.
FA Cup, eh?
Yeah, it is the FA Cup, mate, yeah. Banana skin for Donny, maybe.
2-0 Donny.
2-0 Donny.
You're not tricking me there, wanting me to pick Kettering. I can beat you like a book.
I'm going for a 1-1 draw. They're the highest goal scorers in the FA Cup, Kettering. Scored more goals in the FA Cup than any other team. And I think they're going to score again. And I think Donny will. So I'm going to go for a 1-1. We haven't had many games this week. So I think what we'll do on Super Sunday, we'll go Liverpool versus Man City. How do you see that one going?
Man City.
Yeah, I'm going Man City. What score do you reckon?
2-1.
2-1. I'm going 2-0 Man City. And we're going to go, finally, Busico, the number 9 derby, Stourbridge versus Hales Owen. How do you see that one going to?
Hales Owen.
Yeah.
2-0.
Hales Owen 2-0. I'm going to go Stourbridge 1, Hales Owen 2. Superb, T. Thank you. Love to you and yours. Thanks for your time. Second half is just about to kick off. Ain't Peter Crouch tall? He's 6'7". That Rachel Stringer comes up to his shoulders. But
well,
there you go.
Listen, not only is he tall, for size of him, he's right skinny, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but got good feet for a big man, hadn't he?
Oh, yeah, to be honest, you're right there, Gabby. Be serious. He great control of a ball.
Yeah, he did, Crouchy. Good play. Again, one of these players, and a great lad as well. Always, smiling, having a laugh. And he played that way, didn't he? Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, Crouchy.
Brilliant.
Superb. Till next week then, son.
Right, I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend, you and your family. I'm going to watch the match now.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate. Thanks for listening.
Cheers, bye.
Ta-ra, bye. Bye.